We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series Season number 5 race at Watkins, Glen International. And of course, it is a packed night of action today. The Grand National Series is back here yet again, and it's their third and final road course race of the year, and it happens tonight from Watkins, Glen International. We are very excited for this one on the road. 37 laps, the fourth ever time the Grand National Series will visit this racetrack. And we are hopefully hoping for a good one tonight from the Glen. This race was pretty crazy last season, and we're hoping for maybe the same, maybe a little bit less chaos than what we saw last year. Of course, things are a little bit different as there's no more halfway breaking Grand National anymore, but it should be a very fun night. We're also going to be doing radio-style broadcasting. That returns to the Grand National Series, and of course for the Cup Series tomorrow night as well. We always do this at Watkins Glen every year. We'll be going over that in a minute, how that's all going to work and what that actually is if you don't know. So it should hopefully be a fun one tonight from Watkins Glen International. It is race number 14 of this Grand National Series season. 9 races remain in the year. And of course, in the Cup Series, there's only 2 races remaining before the chase starts. So that's a really good battle there. And then, of course, we're going to be looking at your point standings entry tonight. Full season, obviously, in the Grand National Series. As always, going to start off with our half-hour warm-up session to go, and then, of course, as usual for road courses, you got open qualifying, all cars in the racetrack at the same time for 10 minutes for the pole. Watkins Glen, of course, one of the drivers' favorite short tracks, road courses. Usually called the super speedway of road courses as well. This place is just so fast for a road course race. Gary Smith is not pleased after the throwback vote that happened last week for Darlington. Of course, we're coming off Darlington, coming off a Cameron Chandler victory there. Of course, Cole Wilson takes the points lead after all this. He has just been on fire, and he comes to a racetrack that he's won before back here in Season 3. He is so good at this track as well. He caused a little bit of chaos, let's be honest, last night in the Truck Series race here, but that's besides the point. All right, cars are going to pull onto the racetrack here in Watkins Glen. Here we go. All right. Like we said, race number 14 of this Cup Series, or this Grand National Series season. All right. Drivers on track, we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series at Watkins Glen International. First car on the racetrack, that 31, that's Ronan Suarez. What a crazy 2 races this season he's had. Of course, coming off a suspension that lasted about the first 11 races of this year. First race back, he wins Miami. Incredible scenes. He unfortunately had a bit of a wreck last week in Darlington. He'll look to recover tonight at the Glen. And that 13 and that 31 truck or car for Clear iRacing. And you might notice a little bit different here with the ticker. We're actually going to have the above ticker for today and tomorrow for the road courses at Watkins Glen. Of course, that's the top ticker. We usually have the side ticker. A little bit of change tonight. Right, Jacob Malone heads down in the water. Jacob Malone's so good at these road courses as well. Has almost won a couple of, actually almost won a Cup race back in Sonoma in Season 3. So, what can he do tonight? Looking for his first win of the year. On the wall a little bit he'll go. Here comes Christian Herklotz. What a season he's had down to the bus stop. Of course, trucks raced here last night. What an incredible finish that was. Bryce Benson dominated the event and then, of course, unfortunately got taken out. Or didn't get taken out, he gets slowed down by Paul Wilson, who was not very happy with him after Darlington. And then he had contact with Matthew White. They both crashed, and Cameron Chandler came out of nowhere on the final lap. Only led 1 lap in that race, and he won. Here comes Herklotz through the final corner. So, of course, like I said, radio style tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series in Watkins Glen International. Let's actually go over how that's going to work tonight. So joining me in the booth today will be Landon Johnson, driver of the 88 in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. And you'll see him tomorrow night here at the Glen. Of course, this is your radio-style map. So what happens is I will be calling down to the final corner, down the front straightaway, up through the inner loop, and right away once they get to the back straightaway, I will hand it over to Landon Johnson. He will call the rest of the racetrack down the backstretch to the bus stop, the carousel, down the short chute, and then he'll hand it back over to me. So that, of course, is how radio-style broadcasting works. We call all of the action on the racetrack. They've done this in real life. We've done this the past, what, 3 seasons now it is? We did it in Season 3, Season 4, now in Season 5. And Eli Franklin will be joining me in the booth tomorrow night for the Cup race. But now let's look at your Grand National Series point standings entering tonight at Watkins Glen International, the road course. Of course, Cole Wilson, what an incredible last 5 races he's had. A bunch of second-place finishes, 2 wins at Michigan and Charlotte. Worst finish of the stretch, I think, was 4th last week in Darlington. And he comes to a track that he's so good at, Watkins Glen. Leads the points by 10 over Jacob Clarino. It was a bad race for Berklots. He wrecked out at Darlington last week. He has dipped down now to 3rd in points. Knox Thompson sits 4th in points, also wrecked out at Darlington. Cole Clausen got a top 10 in Darlington. He's now 37 behind. You see McMillan is P6, Cherry is P7. So a lot of things left to change. All right, we're going to bring in, of course, first of all, our other radio-style broadcast partner tonight, Landon Johnson, and then, of course, we'll bring in Eli Franklin in a minute as well, of course, is doing the race. So, Landon Johnson, man. This is going to be an interesting one tonight. You're doing, of course, radio style. I think you did this last season as well. So, ultimately, what are your expectations, and how do you think you're going to be doing calling this race radio style with me?
Well, I just hope I don't mess up trying to make a call, especially if we're focused on a good battle. I just don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, we better not. But, of course, it is Watkins Glen tonight, a road course. We had the trucks on the track here last night. A bunch of these drivers did do that race. Landon, 37 laps for today, no halfway break. So you think it's going to be a grueling test on some of these drivers?
Yeah, it definitely will be, especially I feel like every time we come to Watkins Glen, there's maybe one caution, if that. It's definitely going to be a grueling race. I mean, it's a fast track, and yeah, I mean, just a fast road course, probably the fastest road course on the schedule.
Certainly is, as here comes Jacob Malone to the bus stop in his 66 machine. All right, we're going to bring in Eli Franklin. So, Eli, I just saw you on the racetrack a minute ago, but of course, you're making laps here. You did the truck race last night. Unfortunately, it didn't go so well for you, so do you have any more confidence here tonight in Grand National?
I mean, the course is definitely different, but you definitely I still feel the wet rhythm from last night. Obviously, I'm not the greatest at road courses, but being able to not just come into here blind, it helps a lot. Knowing maybe the braking just a little bit changed, but it's still roughly the same.
Yeah, it should certainly be interesting today here for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series in Watkins Glen. All right, so about 20 minutes.
Feel-wise, we should have to have a pit stop, so it looks like about 7 laps short.
Yeah, that should also be a pretty interesting. Sorry, we're going to just fix something real quick. Also should be pretty interesting, like we said. Of course, like we said, no halfway break. There was a halfway break here at this track last season. But, of course, now Grand National, they got rid of that entirely. All right. Here comes Eli, heading down the backstretch. In his 24 car, I'm sorry, 30.
Can't hear him one.
All right. Here's the 17 of Keaton Shelton. We gotta fix something real quick, sorry. Just give us a minute. So, of course, Watkins Glen International, like I said, a very driver's favorite road course. Drivers love this place. We're kind of doing this, fortunately, our logo up here had to be adjusted. So we're trying to just fix this real quick during the warm-up session here in Watkins Glen. Apologize, it's all that. right, so we should be just about good now, I think. Anyways, car is back on the track here at the Glen. Here is the 5 of Gary Smith. He's had a really good season. I mean, he hasn't done all the races, obviously, but the races he's done, he's been pretty solid in. Currently 11th on the board here. Ford looking for their first win of the year. They went to victory lane here last season with Alexander Ortega.
Not last on the road course. It's
Don't get your hopes up. There's still 20 minutes left.
I'm 10th out of 11th, so I'm doing all right.
Here is the 8. Actually, Ashton Miller this week. It looks like, of course, it's Cameron Chandler's paint scheme, but Ashton Miller going to be in this car today. This car, of course, is the winner in Darlington last week with Cameron driving. Also won Richmond earlier this season. Of course, Cameron driving that as well. Can Ashton Miller maybe throw his name to that? He's always so good at these road courses. Like I said last night in the Truck Series race, but it just always seems like he's very good in practice qualifying, but when it comes to the race, he just can't ever find his way to the front. So we'll see what he can do today. Here's Cole Clausen heading to the bus stop. Currently P5 in points.
Session, Landon Johnson?
Huh?
Someone finally joined the session. It's been a while. D. Brody Webster.
Oh, shoot.
We know what happened last time we're at the track.
Oh, yeah, that was lobbies. I don't know if we talk about that.
I don't know if we talked about that. Just watch out going into turn 1.
Here comes Ethan McMillan, new paint scheme for him this week. I feel like MNF Racing changes their paint schemes basically every week.
They got a bunch of sponsors, dog.
I know. He'll head back down into 1, goes wide, and going to be sweeping up to the inner loop. So nearly halfway through this warm-up session in Watkins, Glen. So of course, you always do have your league road course ringers. There are a lot of drivers that are very good, of course, full-time in the league that are very good at these road courses. Ashton Miller is one of them. Matthew White's going to be a big challenger for the win. Bryce Benson will not be in this race today. Of course, I don't know what's going on with Matthew White's car. Must be trading paints. He's got the old FedEx Xfinity Series playoff banners on right now, so there's definitely something wrong with trading paints. Alright, so cars will reload themselves, heading to the bus stop. Because you gotta go so quickly through. You also can't run off track like Matthew White did right there, or else you're gonna get a slowdown here. Matthew White, of course, already won a road course race in the Grand National Series this season at Sonoma. Here is Wilson. There's CJ Alman. There's the 66 of Jacob Malone. Knox Thompson is pulling onto the racetrack in the 48 Target car. Always a big blink there. Herc laps the bumper to the outside of Eli Franklin. So Eli, you've done some laps here. Any more confidence in your race car?
Oh, most definitely. I feel like this is my best lap I've done so far. I just completely blew that. I still feel like it's going to be a really good lap here. In terms of time-wise, I finally got the shifting down. Last night, I was kind of scared of shifting, so I was shifting the second. I'll get a wheel hop, but I feel confident now. Shifting the second, see if this lap time's any better. I'll have to miss it back one, probably not, but I do feel more confident, definitely, entering these corners.
Hey, we did not go faster.
Here's Michael Gregory in the 87. We'll see how he can do tonight. He's always good on the ovals, but not really sure how he'll do on the road. Braden Hunsicker apparently is making a start today.
Yeah, I got a few Cup guys using one of their starts today.
Yeah, Matthew White, you got Ashton Miller, Braden Hunsicker apparently as well. Aiden Holes also is racing.
Right now we
Here
got
goes Miller.
23,000. That's a lot. That's a lot for a road
I mean, it does make sense. We got like, what, 20 last night in trucks? Here.
2019, yeah.
All right, so I do want to ride along with somebody for a lap around here at Watkins Glen. I will explain a lap. Matthew White's a good guy to do that, but he's currently,
Let's go on board with.
well, let's do Hunsicker, I guess. All right. So here comes Braden Hunsicker. He's going to make that hard right turn down into turn 1. He will go on the gas. You got to go out wide here. Usually he'll do just that. Got Eli Franklin there in the way. He'll go around him, heading up through the inner loop. Turns 2, turn 3. You got to just ease the throttle down here. Then you'll put down the power the best you can, heading sideways, sliding all around, long back straightaway. Then you got to choose a braking point very nicely here. You got to be easy, nice and careful. You got to be quick also through this bus stop, though. You got to carry a lot of speed, and you also can't run off track. Step on the gas here, and then you're gonna cut it back down to the right through the carousel. Long sweeping corner, as you can see. You'll go out wide here, heading down the short chute for the second back straightaway. Turn 6. Or that's not turn 6, whatever this turn is. Turn
Pretty sure
8.
that is turn 6.
No, that's not turn 6. Final corner here, though, for Hunsicker. Obviously, like you can see, it's a very short lap around Watkins Glen, only about 1:10 average, I guess you could say, off the top of my head. And heading down the front straightaway, we'll see a breakdown in turn 1 pretty early, I would say, for Hunsicker down to 1. He's, so far, looks like he's keeping it pretty conservative. Alrighty. "12 minutes left to go here. Oh, we have a wreck. That was Kyler Wilson on the wall, as you can see. So I do want to do some radio-style practice here in a minute. So we're going to try to find some sort of battle that's going on between me and Landon. So let's do it here. Marquez Romez and Matthew White. Oh, maybe. Okay, Matthew. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Oh, 360.
How about that?
Probably best. It's probably best during qualifying, so that's anybody's actually time.
Yeah, everybody's kind of spread out right now.
Yeah, I guess. But in qualifying, we're just thinking about the laps, so I do want to do some practice at least here in a minute.
If you want some entertainment, I'll watch Cole Wilson.
Cole Wilson, that guy sucks.
Wilson actually hasn't made a lap yet, I don't think. Here from Turklox and the 00 and the 78 of Aiden Holes.
Oh wow, he avoided me.
So we're just going to go here. This is actually a battle between Ronan Suarez and Cole Clausen, so let's start here. So he sees, let's get in commentating mode, Ethan. Clausen on the back bumper of Suarez. They will head down the front straightaway yet again here at the Glen. Top 2, nose to tail, front straightaway across the line. Suarez about a half car length lead in extending that. Clausen, will he moves to the inside? No, stays behind that 31. As they head back into turn 1 there. Single file, Suarez goes out a little bit wide. Clausen starting to eke on his bumper, heading up to the inner loop. Suarez behind him. Clausen losing a little bit of time. That 31 car is trying to pull away as they head down the back straightaway to Landon Johnson.
Clausen losing time through the S's as they head down the back straightaway to the bus stop. Very key part of the lap. Make sure to not clip the wall. Through the grass a little bit through Suarez. As they're going to go through this long sweeping corner. And they're going to head down this short chute and heading back down to the final 2 corners on the track.
Ryan Suarez, final 2 car gets out of the way. That's McMillan's teammate Woodward. Suarez gets loose. He'll spin. Will collect Cole Clausen. They both crash in the final corner. Both of them spin out. Suarez gets away the best, and he'll come down pit road this time by his Clausen will proper reset. So, of course, real radio style during the actual race will sound better than that. That was a bit of a practice run. New paint scheme for Cole Wilson this week. Budweiser on board. course, he won this race back in Season 3. 2 wins this year, and you're free to, oh my God, you're defending series champion. Like I said, at Charlotte and Michigan, the last 5 or 4 races.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cole started off this season terrible in his standards. Was like 7th in points after Dover. Had another DNF there. No wins on the year. And then all of a sudden came on strong. He won Charlotte, finished 2nd at Mexico City, 2nd somewhere else, 1 at Michigan, finished 4th last week in Darlington. He's just been incredible as of late. We will see what he can do tonight. All right.
Eight minutes left in practice. We got Matthew White top of the board, Ashton Miller, Jacob Malone, Ronan Suarez, Knox Thompson. Your top 5: Christian Herklotz, Braden Hunsicker, Gary Smith, Hudson Woodward, Cole Clausen, and yeah, that's your top 10 for
So
practice with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, qualifying I don't think is going to be as important as the truck race last night. Of course, that was only 25 laps, and it is harder to pass in the truck than this Grand National car. But of course, there is still no guaranteed cautions in this race as Matthew White will spin. Like we said, no guaranteed yellows in this one tonight. No halfway break, no nothing like that. So it should be interesting. All right, about 7 minutes to go. We'll be right back at Watkins Glen. The car is still in the racetrack for practice. We welcome you back live to Watkins Glen International for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series Season 5 race here at the Glen. Race 14 of the year. 9 races remaining left this season. The final road course one of the year as well. 4 cars up the hill. 3 from M&F Racing. McMillan, you see his teammate Woodward, who actually got a top 10 in his truck series debut last night. Really impressive effort by the 73 truck, and we'll see what he can do today in his Grand National debut. Woodward, I'm sorry, not Woodward. They'll move over for Michael Gregory there. You see Matthew White, Christian Herklotz battling. I'm interested to see what kind of pace Herklotz will have. As they will head down the front straightaway here at the Glen. 5 minutes to go in practice. Okay, bit of a dive bomb there. Oh man! So
That
of course,
wasn't gonna hurt.
yeah. Here's Jacob Clarino. He currently sits P3 in the standings. Had a good day in Darlington last week to gain some spots, as he will rocket down the backstretch. So Landon, I know we're about 25 minutes into practice, so you have any maybe pole predictions for this race?
I mean, I think it's going to be kind of like last night. I mean, Matthew White, he's always fast everywhere we go. Ashton, he's a road course guy. Jacob Malone, he's good everywhere. Ronan Suarez, P4, that's kind of surprising. I didn't really think he was a road course kind of guy. Christian's up there. Knox is up here in the top 10. I don't know. They're kind of like last night. There's 4 or 5 guys that can win the pole. But if I got to pick one, I'm going to say Matthew White.
Yeah, it should certainly be interesting. We got a wreck here. Matthew White crashes, I believe, with Aiden Holes. Of course, 37 laps. Oh my God!
Oh.
What? We got to see what just happened there. Holy!
That has got to be Cole Clausen.
That's called Gatlin Wilson. There's 3 Wilsons in this race, by the way. So, yeah. Oh my God. Bit of a wreck there, as you can see. All right.
Oh, Cole Clausen's destroyed down there now.
Yeah, of course. Cole Clausen won the throwback paint scheme fan vote for his Culver's car last week in Darlington. I believe that's the second time he's won a throwback fan vote. The other one he won for was, I think, for, what was it, last season's Cup race, I think, as well. So he's won now 2 in a row for throwback paint scheme fan votes. Winner in Phoenix this season, the Grand National Series winner in Cup at Fontana this year. And of course, your Season 2 Cup Series champion. Here is Jacob Malone to the bus stop in the 66 car. Jacob currently sits P5 in the standings. Right now is third, but behind Matthew White and Ashton Miller. Times right now are relatively close. White is actually 2/10 quicker than Miller right now, though.
Yeah, it's not as close as it was last night. I mean, the top 5, they're about 8/10 apart.
You don't have Bryce Benton today. You don't have Cameron Chandler either, so there, of course, are some changes there.
Cole Wilson just went up to P4 on that last lap.
Yeah, we know he's very good at this track. Winner here back in Season 3, like I said. All right, only about 2 minutes to go before qualifying gets underway here at Watkins Glen International. So if this race goes completely green, no yellows, of course there's no halfway break obviously in Grand National. Road courses are kind of rare for cautions unless we have a big wreck. We did have a lot last season, let's be honest, here at Watkins Glen, but if we don't get that again, get a similar race to the truck race last night, then we would have 1 green flag pit stop. And Eli, you know what time, like what lap around it would happen? Maybe?
No, man, had to use back, but honestly, it could get very interesting. I think these guys would run maybe a little later. I think they're pit later than the midway point. They'll probably be around 25 to 27. Also, it really depends. Once you guys pit, having clean track in front of them, because they're gonna be racing a lot, racing with everybody. Lap time's gonna be low. So if you can get clean track, maybe these guys up the front, maybe a 3 seconds back and pit 3 laps early. That's 3 extra laps of just basically qualifying laps, and lap times down to gain on your competitors.
Yeah, we will see.
As Brody Webster's finally back on the track.
Oh, it only took him until about 20 minutes left to go to practice. Oh my God.
Oh, yep.
Here's Webster in the tip. All right, well, of course, that'll do just about, that'll do it up here in practice. Matthew White is top of the board by that 2/10 over Ashton Miller. Looks very good and solid so far for Matthew. All right. So here we go. Open qualifying, of course, 10 minutes, all cars on the racetrack at the exact same time. As many laps as you can possibly put down here at the Glen.
What we have seen last night was people went faster in qualifying than they did in practice. So right now, Matthew White, top of the board, was at 1:13.1. So, in my opinion, if it goes like last night, I think it can get down to like a 1:12.9.
We'll see. Here comes Miller on the racetrack. There is Malone behind him. So, of course, as always, open qualifying, you can do as many laps as you can. You can start your final lap right before the time expires. Then you can finish it after time expires. But it's going to be a busy racetrack here at the Glen. Here we go. Watkins Glen International.
Very important here. Great job by Ashton Miller being the first car out. Fresh, clean track in front of him. And hopefully, no guys just come off the pit road and get blocked him. But he found himself a great opportunity to put down a really fast lap for his first lap once he saw two auto starters left, no traffic in front of him.
Yeah, and we did see the track actually go away in practice, of course, and then also in the truck race, in the truck qualifying session last night, the track went away very early, so this could be very important for Ashton Miller. We'll see. Here we go, qualifying underway in Watkins Glen for the Grand National Series. Miller going to be the first one to start his time. Down the front stretch he'll go. Can maybe do 3-4 laps in the session, realistically.
Probably 4, maybe 5 if you can get across the line before the time expires.
But
Put a fresh
at
set
that
of tires
point,
on.
yeah, at that point, 5 with fresh with the tires is going to not be too much speed on your race car.
You might just do 3 and then try to get two done.
We'll see.
Yeah, this is the best chance for Ashton Miller. No lap traffic ahead of him. Going through the bus stop now, there's a slow Knox Thompson in front, but I assume he's going to be fast enough to not be an active way. But this is probably, I would assume, probably one lap chance to put down his best time.
Here's Cole Wilson. Stacy in some traffic. Same thing with Brody Webster. There's Kyler Wilson. Aiden holds the 33 of Jacob Bruno Woodard. There's Matthew White. Matthew White actually isn't in. He's actually got some good clean track ahead of him. Michael Gregory is behind him. There is Gatlin Wilson. Keegan Shelton. Marquez Romas. Gary Smith. 71 of Cole Clausen. Knox Thompson heading down the front straightaway. Here comes Ashton Miller, going to be the first one over the line to finish up his time. What is it going to be for Miller? Behind him is Jacob Malone.
He backs up the same time he did in practice, basically.
And Ashton's already going to reset off that one lap right there.
All right. So I don't know if we were expecting maybe an improvement. Now Malone will also go for a bit of a reset here. Wilson is second currently. Malone is third. And Miller is fastest by about 0.3.
So like Eli was saying, they're already either doing the same lap times as they did in practice or going faster.
Here goes Cole Wilson, currently P2. So you want to see where Matthew White ends up. Here he is across the line in the 88. Matthew White, got to check it. Actually doesn't have a lap. No, it didn't count. Up the hill he goes. There's Gavin Wilson. Here comes Michael Gregory to the bus stop with at 31 of Suarez. Here's actually Jacob Malone now stuck behind Aiden Holes. But I don't believe Malone is currently on a timed lap. And he will slow down. All right, well, of course, it is crunch time here in qualifying. Who is going to win the pole at the Glen? Here comes Woodard in his Grand National Series debut down the front stretch for M&F Racing. Kylan Wilson, the 23. Ashton Miller to the bus stop
Matthew
here.
just second off that lap.
Yeah, but Miller is still top of the board. White is now P2. Like you said, Cole Wilson, I believe, is third. There's Jacob Bruno, Knox Thompson. Here comes Cole Clausen, the 71, down the front straightaway. Malone is P4. Harry Smith currently fifth. Loreno Herclad Suarez, your top 8 right now, with about halfway through this qualifying session.
Oh boy. We got a big wreck here near the bus stop.
Oh yeah, oh, big crash, and into the wall goes Franklin with, that's Keaton Shelton. And that's definitely a dangerous situation down the backstretch here in qualifying. Got a big line of, a queue of cars coming on track. Harry Smith There is Herklotz. Here comes Gregory. Matthew White, I think, also behind him with Jacob Malone. So these are some fast race cars right now coming on track. Can anyone beat Ashton Miller? We'll see.
We saw a decent amount of. Last night we had 20 cars. It's still a good field, but tonight's gonna be a little bit boring. Also, one of these cars going into turn one, will someone wheel hop? Will someone send it in a little too far and cause a big stack up in someone's turn in front of the field? I mean, we've seen it before at the Glen when we start. Someone sends it just a little bit too deep, misjudges the timing of the braking, and hits the car in front of him. It's just a chain effect. The guys in front, and it's just a bit. Someone will spin out.
Yeah, and then what will the aggression level be like tonight? Of course, there are no guaranteed cautions in this race. The first initial start of the race is going to be the only technically guaranteed restart. So who knows? Miller is still so far top of the board. Matthew White is second. Wilson, Clarino, Malone, your top five. Now, how about Jacob Clarino dropping up to fourth? Now, here comes Miller, or sorry, that's Aiden Holes.
We got two new guys that have been gone for a while to join. Yeah, Brody, and now we got TJ Moon.
Oh.
Now we got 25 core.
Here comes Matthew White up the hill. Through the inner loop. Here at the Glen. Look at him just pushing Nilly to the grass down the back straightaway. My goodness, he's flying. The bus stop he goes.
And Cole Wilson improves, and he'll go to the top of the board.
How about that? Cole Wilson in the 22 car. He is now fastest here in qualifying. Track has still got some speed left in it. That's good to know. Now here comes Jacob Malone in the 66 car. Final corner for him. He's going to be heading down the front straightaway. Miller back to second. White is now third. Here comes Malone across the line.
Up to P3.
Up to third.
Yeah, good lap by the 66. 2 minutes to go here. You're going to be able to. Here comes TJ Moon in the 9 on the track now. He didn't do any laps in practice, of course. Here comes Herklotz. He's in the wall in the 00 car. He's going to hit the wall. Maybe again, he might have to reset. Yes, he will. All right, so you got to reset now if you're going to be able to do another lap. Of course, like I said, you can start your final lap and you can finish it after time expires, but you got to start it, of course, before time actually does expire. Here comes the 22.
A lot of people are resetting now and getting back on the track quickly just to get fresh tires and have one solid lap.
Yeah, Cole Wilson's not doing that. He's still on the track. Matthew White also still on the track, currently third. He'll reset. This is kind of late for Matthew White. We'll see how it goes. All right, he'll try to do something here. Miller, of course, back to second. Trying to see where he is. There's Ashton Miller in the 8. He was top of the board. Now he's got two cars, Malone and Wilson, side by side ahead of him. Yeah, Miller kind of stuck here. This is bad news for him. He's got to back off now. Now I don't know about this for Ashton Miller. He's coming to his final lap this time by in qualifying. And now he's stuck behind Jacob Malone. Here's Cole Wilson.
It's going to be close. He just finished up the bus stop. Now he's down the short. The 30 seconds left. It's going to be close, but I think he might be able to get the lap in.
You're talking about Matthew White, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, 22 seconds to go. Here he is. We'll see if he gets there. It will be really close. I think he'll just have enough time, maybe a couple of seconds to spare. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Gets there with 2 seconds.
So he'll be the last guy. Here comes Knock Thompson. This will be his final lap. And Bruce gets to the top 10. Suarez for the final time going across the line. So he was T11. See if he improves.
By the way,
not.
By the way, Jacob Malone had a wreck, I believe. Ashton Miller now by himself. Here's Cole Wilson ahead of him. Final lap for Wilson. He currently is on pole. Will be an improvement, maybe to jump over anything Miller might have. Here comes Cole Wilson across the line. Behind him, Ashton Miller in this 8 car. What is it going to be? Checker flag in the air.
No improvement.
Oh, yep, nobody improves. Now, it's maybe all down to, well, here comes Brody Webster. Here comes Herklotz down the front straightaway. To the checker flag. Oh, he's stuck in the fence now. Oh, got a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, Matthew's
giving
giving a stop away.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, White is upside down. He's flipping on his roof, lands on his roof there, upside down. That'll be his qualifying over. He'll be 4th. Malone dropped up to 3rd. White back to P4. And it looks like Cole Wilson going to be on pole here in Watkins Glen.
And Brody Webster's doing Brody Webster things.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Ornament on the tree.
And April.
Yep.
I always wanted a Brody Webster #2 car on my Christmas tree.
All right. Miller still on the track here, but qualifying is, of course, here. So it'll be Cole Wilson, your winner here in 2 seasons ago, on pole for this 37-lap race around Watkins Glen. Of course, going to be, like I said, doing this radio style. I will have the final corner down in the front straightaway through turns 1, and then up the inner loop, and then I'll hand it over to Landon Johnson down the back straight. He'll have, of course, have the bus stop. Then you will also have the carousel down the short chute, the second to last corner, then I'll hand it back over to me. Well, we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Grand National Series in Watkins Glen. This is race 14 of the Grand National Series season, and here we go from the Glen. 3rd and final road course this year. Cole Wilson will start on pole. And Landon Johnson, why don't you give us the honors of going through the top 10?
Okay. On the pole, it's Cole Jaquavius Wilson. On the outside of him, it's Ashton Miller. Starting P3, it's Jacob Malone. Then got Matthew White. Starting P4, Jacob Colino. P5, and then Christian Herklotz. Gary Smith starting P7. Next to him, Brody Webster, making a return in Grand National. Then starting P9, it's Knox Thompson, and then
Huh?
Marquez Ramos.
Yep. And that is your top 10 here for the race in Watkins Glen. 37 laps, 90 miles around the Glen. Of course, no halfway break for Grand National. 25 cars lead them down to the grid. Of course, get the rest of the field scrolling across the top of your screen. 9 races left in this Grand National Series season. You got a road course today, a super speedway next week in Daytona. You got some mile and a half, some short tracks. What more could you ask for to finish up this Grand National Series season? Who will win the championship? Cole Wilson, your points leader now, just took that last week in Darlington. He now will, of course, lead the field to the green here at the Glen, which is a track he is so good at. Car is about to roll off the grid from Watkins Glen International. Car.
And don't forget about V-Stars. It's different from the choose cone here. It's not on the front stretch.
Yeah, choose cone will actually be down the back straightaway right after the bus stop. As cars will roll on track.
I wonder who came up with that, Eli.
Me.
That's why I said it.
All right. Well, it's Watkins Glen International, usually called the super speedway of road courses. This place is very, very quick. It also is pretty short for a road course as well. Drivers love this place. It's going to be high speed, high action day. I don't know where the rest of the field is. There we go. So it should be hopefully very fun here at Watkins Glen International tonight. 37 laps.
Is this the biggest Grand National field we've had for Watkins Glen?
I don't. Maybe last season might have had a little more. Probably was about similar to this. Side by side they go down the back straightaway. Cole Wilson and Ashton Miller gonna lead this field to the green. It's very
One
tough
thing
to go.
before we get this go, one thing before we get sorry, one thing before we get going, one thing before y'all take over. This bus stop's going to be very important. Obviously, you can't. It's very almost impossible to go side by side through here. So early on this race, especially on restarts, it's going to be very important to get singled up.
Yes, it will be. You don't want to go side by side through there. We saw a wreck in the first lap last night in the truck series, so we'll see what we get tonight. "14 races into the Grand National Series season after tonight, and the points are definitely looking interesting. The championship battle is on. Your championship leader now, Cole Wilson, just took it last week in Darlington. Like I said, he will lead this Grand National Series field to the green flag tonight. Grand National back on the road for the final time this season. The all ovals after this, so one more test at a road course, and it is a driver's favorite place, Watkins Glen International, radio style on the channel. Anna Johnson, of course, will have the last part of the racetrack. I will have this part of the racetrack. The pace car is in. The Season 5 Grand National Series race from Watkins Glen International as the field approaches the starting line is going to be green and underway. We are racing from Watkins Glen, New York. Let's go! Side by side, back into 1 and 2. You see Miller on the outside of Wilson. Wilson pushes him wide. Miller is still there. Wilson, though, is clear. They're door-to-door for third. Here is Matthew White trying to work on Malone, who gets P3. Kind of going to be side by side, more three-wide action behind it. Everyone trying to get underway as they will head down the back straightaway with the opening time here at the Glen.
Final time through, or the first time through the S's as they try to single file out for the bus stop. Wilson's going to be the first one on the brakes to the bus stop. Oh, contact. The 5's already around. 25's going to slide through the grass. Everybody's going to have to check up in the back. As they make it through this sweeping turner right here, going down the short chute for the first time. So leaders single file heading down to the second to last corner.
Yeah, of course, that was Gary Smith. Got really loose, but the battle is on for the lead. Here comes Miller, pressuring Cole Wilson to his bumper almost. First lap will be led by the 22 machine, Cole Wilson. Malone back there in third. You see Matthew White currently running in P4. Here is Miller. Will he look to the inside? We'll see. Heading back to turn 1.
Oh, we got a pile up over here.
Oh. Big wreck down the front straightaway. Gregory involved with Rojan Koch. The yellow's going to come out.
Yeah, once you go through it.
Oh, yeah. Caution is out for the first time. Michael Gregory has big damage. You see that, I believe, is the 97 of CJ Ammons. Also destroyed. First caution of the night. The first caution of the weekend. Didn't have a single yellow in the truck race last night. Comes out here at the Glen. And Ammons, he is done. That thing is stranded. What happened?
Crazy first lap.
We having payback over here.
What? Where?
Kyle Wilson just got turned and he's done.
Where?
Right after the exit turn 1.
We got to look at that in a minute. So I first of all want to see what happened to Ammons here. Gregory, I believe it might be done as well. So here they are. It was aggressive racing here in the first lap. There's Ammons behind Cole Clausen. He also had 17. There's the 16 of Wilson. It was 3 wide. You see Gary Smith to the outside. Was it contact? Oh, no, he door slammed. Oh, so the 23 ended up wrecking first. Yeah. And then Michael Gregory piled up with the 97. And then it was McMillan also piling in there as well. So yeah, you told me, Eli, it was what, Kylan Wilson, you said?
Go to him. He got standing to the wall and he blown his motor. I think it was payback.
So here we go. Oh, he turns Michael Gregory to the inside. He goes, just spins him on the first lap. Wow. Unbelievable. Gregory comes back, hits the wall, and then hooks him back again and spins. And there they are in front of the field. Big hits for Ammon, and then Gatlin Wilson gets some damage as well. And now I do want to see what happens to the 23. He gets away, looks like cleanly, not too much damage on the car. And then, I don't know.
Ryan is right after the exit of 1.
So here we go. We're coming to the exit of 1 now. Here comes Michael Gregory. I think this might be, oh, he just, oh my God, just cleaned them out. Unbelievable, it cleaned them both out. Wow, unreal. Well, that obviously will be looked at the end of this race. Just unbelievable way to start this off. That was, by the way, on the first and second laps. Under yellow for the first time tonight on lap 3. Wow.
I couldn't even make it through the bus stop clean. Like Eli said, like you got to go through there almost single file.
Well, that was certainly a way to start off. My goodness, guys, unbelievable.
So since we're under caution, Eli, what's the fuel update?
I think most guys, if everybody pits here, I think there's caution you can probably save, especially these guys that have really good road courses can definitely save. But if pit road is probably gonna be open this time, so I think most guys can basically almost make it if they save a little bit on the green.
So I think already 3 cars might be out of the race. CJ Almonds, Kylan Wilson, and Michael Gregory. So obviously that Gregory and Wilson issue there, we're gonna see what happens after the race on that.
And they're asking, I'm gonna send it to them. Choose after the bus stop, correct?
Yes. Yep. Somebody pitting. Jacob Clarina looking back there. Brady Webster coming with Knox Thompson as well. Here comes Marquez Romez. A lot of guys actually staying out in the front of the field.
I think they think they can save enough fuel.
First yellow of the night. We'll see if they have that. For Cup tomorrow, obviously you're not going to be able to save enough, but the halfway break will let you pit, so don't think they're going to be a green flag pit stop at all for Cup tomorrow night. First caution of the day happens on lap 2 here at the Glen. I don't know what it is about this race. I mean, completely clean last night for the Truck Series, no yellows. Lap 2 here at Watkins Glen, kind of resembling last season, under yellow already. So, choose cone will be by that, you know, the thing I was telling you about last night, little stand thing.
Yeah, I sent them the things I choose after the bus stop.
Yep. It's down the back straightaway. It doesn't really matter technically exactly where they choose because there's technically no start finish line there. We're on 2 to go this time.
To make it obvious.
So
but now we're going to green.
All right.
We're choosing now, so we're going to go green this time.
All right, so they apparently choose here. All right. I don't know what happened with the shoes there. Not really sure what that was all about. Okay, so I guess they didn't choose? I don't really know what that was there.
Yeah, they choose. We have a couple of them confused why it was right there.
Choose cone is supposed to be down the back straightaway. I don't know why. I guess Miller had them choose there, but okay. So it's going to be Wilson side by side with Miller for the restart. Going to be on lap 5. After a crazy opening lap here at Watkins Glen, puts us under yellow for the first time today. We're going to have a restart. Wilson, your leader. Miller, second. Here they come. Back to green at the Glen. Wilson, of course, can go whenever he wants. And he has a huge jump coming down the front straightaway. Miller will slide in the second, but here comes Jacob Malone, who's inside for P2. Also there on Matthew Wood, he's up to the outside, door-to-door for third. Herklotz is P5. Side by side, heading through the inner loop. Malone, though, is back clear on Matthew White now. Can Miller try to run down Cole Wilson? We will see. He's got to run coming down the back straightaway.
Yeah, top 2 already starting to break away a little bit. Jacob Malone in the 66 as they go down the back straightaway, heading for the bus stop once again. Let's see if we can make it through here clean. Okay, not the first time we made it through. It looks like we're going to make it through the bus stop clean this time. So we're going to be heading to the shortstop. And battles through the field continue. like to see how the guys that stopped on that pit stop right there, or on that caution, see how they work their way through the field.
Now here's Miller to the bumper of Cole Wilson. He is there, almost moves him a little bit. He is coming for the lead as they will come to lap 6 this time by at the Glen. Miller is very, very quick, was of course top of the board in qualifying for a while, was second in practice, I believe, as well.
Andrew Stacy stopped over here right before you go on the front stretch.
Oh, that's Aiden Holes, actually.
Wayne Hole's my fault.
I don't know what's going on with him. He's currently just sitting
I
over
think he
the
got.
reset.
I think he might got turned. I have no clue.
I don't know. He just stopped and then reset. I'm not exactly.
As the 2 leaders, they've already got almost over half a second on Jacob Malone in third. So they're coming back through the bus stop once again. As the top 2's already breaking away from the field pretty much. As Herklotz, he gets loose through the bus stop. Goes through the grass back there. Miller on the inside of Cole Wilson. They're going to be heading down the straightaway once again. Side by side for the lead. Lap number 6. Wilson's going to have the preferred line coming into this corner though.
Door to door, they almost make contact. Here comes Malone behind them as well. Where will that 66 car go? That Ford Mustang. Miller on the inside of Cole Wilson for the race lead. He will slide on the bottom. He's still side by side down the front straightaway. Here comes Malone. Goes 3 wide in the inside lane. 3 wide to the lead. Heading back to turn 1. Jacob Malone in the inside lane. It might work. He'll drive it down deep. Wilson's going to go out wide, but here comes Miller yet again. They're still 3 wide. Heading up to the inner loop. Malone backs out of the gas, and somehow Cole Wilson is clear, and they're back 1, 2, 3 like they were before. Unbelievable stuff. Now Malone going to back there in third. Here comes Miller yet again for the lead on Wilson.
Miller coming on a charge one more time. Oh, gets blocked to the grass right there, coming out of the corner, coming out of the S's. As Matthew White is caught back up to the top 3. We're gonna make it through the bus stop clean once again. Miller's still right there, just waiting for Wilson to make a mistake. Coming out of the chicane. They're gonna gain on Malone and White a little bit. See if Miller can make a move right here, setting him up for the second to last corner.
Yeah, Miller gonna again pressure to the bumper of Cole Wilson. Wilson has definitely made it very hard to get around him. Miller, though, once again gonna try to look to his inside. He's just been all over his back bumper. But still, Cole Wilson has led just about every lap so far tonight as we come to lap 8. Malone, who made it 3 wide down this front straightaway a lap ago, still runs third. Matthew White currently runs in P4 as they head back into turn 1, looking a little further back. You got, how about 5th place, Jacob Carino. 6th is currently Herklotz. 7th is Suarez. 8th, how about, what a run by Water. It is currently the highest running M&F racing car in P8. Unbelievable start for him, unbelievable debut. Finished 10th in the truck race last night and is somehow running even better today in Grand National.
Wilson gonna get about a car length on Miller right there through the S's. See if Miller, this is probably Miller's best part of the track right here, through the buses and through the carousel. As he goes off in the grass a little bit right there. Still gonna be on the back bumper, pressuring him. Malone closes up some too. So they're gonna head back down the short stop. Short shoot. Miller's still trying to line up a pass for the lead.
We'll almost contact yet again. I mean, it's still early in this race, so aggression level, you got to save up your tires, save up your fuel as well. He's going to get to his bumper yet again, though. It just doesn't look like he's willing to move him, I would say. Just trying to really pressure to his bumper as they head down the front straightaway. Wilson going to go to the defensive line, back into turn 1. Miller's going to look to the outside, though. He is there. He'll come to the outside, but of course that is not the preferred lane. Wilson is back clear, but he might actually have a crossover move coming. Here comes Miller back to his inside. They will be side by side, heading up through the inner loop. No, they will not be. Miller backs out of the gas. Wilson still is holding on to this lead. Malone just waiting and watching back there in third. Still only on lap 9 of 37 here at the Glen.
Ashton pushing Miller or Wilson all the way down out of the final turn in the S's. Looking for a shot down into the bus stop. Not going to be there. Malone closing back up. Ashton basically pushing Cole through these corners, but just don't want to move him. Coming back down the straightaway, see if he can make a move. Matthew's starting to peek out, trying to find a way around Malone. top 4 still broken away from the rest of the field. Miller on the back bumper.
Yeah, he is just there, but he's going to go to the inside. Maybe he might make a move. No, he's not. He's going to, again, stay behind Wilson. But Eli, like you said, guys still probably have the fuel save.
Yeah, but I do think some of these guys definitely have to save, but acquisition is very important. Maybe some of these guys think tires matter more than maybe we think for these road courses.
I heard something blow up. I don't know. I think it was Aiden holes on pit road. I believe it was holes on pit road, but Miller is now actually losing a bit of time to Wilson, heading up through the inner loop yet again. Behind him, Matthew White runs fourth. Again, I want to look through the field. There is.
And Suarez is on pit road.
Ron and
Could
Suarez.
have been Suarez.
Here's 31. I don't know if this is just a stop or what, but Ron and Suarez is currently in the pits as they come
He
to the bus
left.
stop.
I guess he did blow up.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys are back through the bus stop. Oh, Miller goes through the grass a little bit. Gonna get to the right side of him. Gonna get tight through the carousel though. That's gonna give Malone an opportunity for second. So we go down the short stop again. Short shoot. Malone on the outside of Miller. Not gonna get there. Malone's gonna set him up for this corner though.
Yeah, Malone is coming. If one mistake by these two, he could be there again like he did before, trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. Of course, Ron and Suarez now apparently is out of the race. That's unfortunate for him. That leaves us now with 4 cars officially out on lap, coming to only lap 11. So it has been a very chaotic race so far tonight at Watkins Glen. And of course, we're only now 11 laps in, but here comes Miller, going to try to drive it back to the bumper of Wilson. He'll go to the outside now. Bit of a different line. Will come back on the track. Right behind him, remember, still a little bit of dirty air behind that 22 car. He is just trying to work that. He's going to pressure Wilson. I mean, maybe Wilson could be saving a little bit as well. Who knows?
Yeah, like you said, Wilson can be trying to save fuel to shorten up his probably only pit stop. But I mean, Miller, he's been on the back bumper this whole race, so who knows how much he's really saving. Miller all over that back bumper through the bus stop, just trying to find a way around him. So Malone's going to close back in a little bit. Matthew, he's just kind of keeping the same distance with those 3. Back in the straightaway. Jacob Crow, the 33, he's starting to catch his pack a little bit, I believe.
Oh, there almost is contact there. Here comes Miller, moves Wilson wide. He'll go off the track. Miller to the outside. Now here comes Malone as well. They'll almost make contact again. Malone gonna make 3 wide again. Here he comes, 3 wide. Down the front straightaway. That's a block to the inside. Malone lifts. He'll go middle. Now you got Miller in the outside lane, Wilson in the bottom, Malone looking to go middle of the racetrack. Will they all come together? Malone backs out of the gas, and here comes Miller. Will sweep around the outside, and this time he'll clear Cole Wilson. New leader on lap 12 in Watkins Glen. It is now Ashton Miller up front. Wilson back to second. Malone is still third, but that 8 car finally passed Cole Wilson, and he now leads.
Yeah, that 8 car, he's been pressuring Wilson all race long to make a mistake, and he finally got around him. See if he can drive away from the rest of the top 5 through the bus stop. Let's see if Cole Wilson can keep up though after he lost the lead. He's gonna have some dirty air though. It's Matthew White. I mean, he's losing a little bit of pace with these top 3 now. Still, as we got a battle for 4th. I mean, I think he's gonna start catching Jacob down the back or the short chute again. As the gap staying about the same, maybe gaining a little bit for Miller.
Yeah, Wilson again still on the bumper of Miller. Again, they still got to save fuel here. None of these guys up front pitted. I don't know what the first car who actually pitted was. It definitely wasn't anyone that's at the top 5.
Might be Brody or not.
Rojan Koch, by the way, is in the pits. I don't know if something's going on.
Yeah,
with
he overshot turn 1 and blew his engine.
Oh,
He hit
that's
the wall.
That's another one. As here we go side by side, Smith and Stacy. We are losing cars. They are dropping like flies. It is unbelievable here at Watkins Glen. The attrition we've seen so far in this race, just unreal.
Yeah, you can see the pace of this 8 car now after he got some clean air on that nose. He's driving away from Cole Wilson. Already put 4 tenths on him. And Matthew White, he's starting to gain on Jacob Malone a little bit right here after the bus stop and through the carousel. Might have a battle for 3rd in the next lap or two. These
Yeah.
guys also got to think about when they're going to start pitting.
Well, I don't know if they're going to pit. They might be able to save enough. Who knows? But Matthew White is going to be quick. He is trying to get third place away from Jacob Malone. Looking back here, fifth place still is Galerno. He's having a great run on the road course. Sixth is solidly the 00 of Hercules. But how about seventh? Hudson Woodward. I know we've had a couple of DNFs already ahead of him. Some unfortunate issues, but what an incredible run. Got to give a big shout out to this guy. Like I said, finished 10th in trucks last night. He is just shocking the world right now, running top 7. Even his teammates, the M&F car, the next M&F car is Cole Clausen, back outside almost the top 15, and now he is side by side with his teammate, Ethan McMillan, as they will head back down into turn 1.
One thing these guys can do to save fuel also, they maybe not use the clutch. They maybe not shift to second gear. Sometimes we go from fourth to just third and not go to second. To low RPMs, you want to save.
Back through the bus stop and back to the carousel. Miller's gap continues to grow as now Malone and Matthew White all over Cole Wilson. I think Cole just burned his stuff up trying to keep the lead early on. Now you can just see the fade. You can see this car fade away as the run goes along.
Yeah, Malone is there. Here he goes. Battle for second at Watkins Glen. Down the front straightaway they go yet again. I mean, Wilson is still keeping good pace down the front stretch. Malone has been very aggressive. You saw him drop to the inside 3 wide twice already in this race. Neither times have really worked out for himself personally, but he'll probably still be aggressive on lap 15 now at the Glen. Here they go, back up to the inner loop. Matthew White is still sitting there in 4th, but not the pace we usually expect at, especially this racetrack, for the 88 of Matthew White. Still sitting there in P4 with nowhere really to go ahead of him.
Yeah, Miller's gap still continues to grow with Malone. You can tell he's definitely faster than Wilson. Wilson, like I said a minute ago, his car is definitely falling off. They're hopping the curbs through the buses. Oh, Matthew through the grass a little bit back there. It's going to lose him some more time. Hercules having a good run in P6. I know he's up there. Oh, big send into the bus by the 70 and the 9 through the grass now. As Knox Thompson's going to gain a spot right there. I believe that'll put him up to 7th, I believe.
And up front, Miller now, of course, again, extending his gap ever so slightly as these laps wind down. He looks like he is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Coke there, you can see I think he blew his motor, unfortunate. Had a decent run last week in Darlington. He will not finish this race. Malone is still just hounding the back bumper of Cole Wilson. He is going to be there in a minute. As they head up to the inner loop yet again. I mean, dirty air definitely seems like it is affecting these drivers ever so slightly. Matthew White also has just fallen off his battle for second. Back there in 4th, Galerno as well. I mean, these top 2, and then of course 2nd and 3rd, and then Miller looks like the fastest cars right now.
Yeah, Miller definitely the fastest car out there, just looking at lap times, and Malone's up there too, you can just tell. Wilson, lap times are definitely falling off for him. But I mean, I feel like he's been struggling this whole race, just trying to keep it up front. Then Miller got around him. And now Malone trying to get to second. It's just a matter of time before he keeps falling through the field as the race goes on.
Yeah, I mean, Cole Wilson started on pole, of course. Definitely has pace in that 22 car, but long run speed, maybe not so much. Here comes Malone. He's got to make a move soon if he wants to have a chance at Miller. If there's not another caution in this race.
Someone's having a TJ Moon here.
What?
He was 7th. Now he's back to 16th.
I don't know what. See the 25 as Stacy goes way wide over here. Gary Smith as well. It is just an absolute dogfight here outside the top 10. I don't know what happened to TJ Moon. Here he is. He's slow down the back straightaway. Another car with issues on lap 17 already. I mean, this is just unbelievable, the amount of cars that we've seen with issues like this.
Miller's gap's open up to 1 second over Cole Wilson and Jacob Malone. We got a battle for 4th with a 33 and Matthew White. That 33, he was way back on the. He's definitely got a car with long run speed. Is like Ethan said earlier, like Matthew, we figured he'd be up there with Miller. I mean, he was up there last night battling for the truck with him. He's just gotta have 4th to 5th place speed. Just hasn't really been there.
So they will go to lap to 16 of Wilson. We'll go a lap down now. Behind them, of course, Matthew White. He is sideways back in the final corner. That will open the door for Jacob Clarino. Here he comes to the inside battle for P4. Going to be side by side, heading down the front straightaway. What a run by Jacob Clarino. I don't think he expected to be passing Matthew White in this race on pure pace. Door to door, heading back into one.
Andrew Stacy having problems.
Where'd he go?
I think he just went to pit road. He towed it.
Wow. Okay. I don't know where he went. Oh, we got a car on the wall. That was Keaton Shelton, I believe, in the 17. These are crazy issues we've seen back in the pack. Nothing like we saw last night in the trucks.
As the 33 finally gets around Matthew White, as they both cleared the lap car back there. Back up front, Malone still trying to chase down Wilson as they both go through the grass a little bit through the exit of the bus stop. As the gap is staying about the same with Ashton Miller and Cole Wilson. The gap will grow to about 1.1 and then it'll stay about there. So Cole's car's not falling off too bad.
Yeah, so that fuel situation, I definitely am interested in that. I think drivers are probably saving. We'll see if they eventually have to pit or they can make it to the end. Of course, they were going to have to pit if that first caution on lap 2 didn't come out. So that's what's kind of making this interesting. Now 19 laps to go at Watkins Glen. That's still a long time in this race. Oh, we had a crash! Big wreck, and unfortunately, it is Wardard who goes hard on the wall, has damage. He is gonna hit the wall like we said. He's now pretty much destroyed, and that's unfortunate. Man, having such a good run. Well, I don't know what happened. Let's take a look. So unfortunate for Hudson Wardard. That was a big shot. So he's there with Gary Smith. Oh, he just gets turned. Wow. Into the wall yet again with that 5 car. And technically, only one car goes around. It's the 73. He gets it rolling again. We stay green. Just so unfortunate for Hudson Wardard. He's bringing his car down pit road. Running inside of the top 10 in his Grand National debut at a road course is nothing short of impressive, and this is going to be so unfortunate for him. Unbelievable. Here's TJ Mooney's now slow with the 24 of Eli Franklin. Of course, now Miller. The gap isn't really growing with him and Cole Wilson. Wilson's still back there in second, holding his own. Malone actually losing time in third. As they come back to the final corner, there's TJ Moody's bringing his car down to pit road. Oh, or not, okay. Malone is coming, all right. So I guess we will have pit stops in this race. How about this? Jacob Malone going to be the first one on pit road. This is very, my God, this is very early, I would have to say so myself. Okay.
Well, he's
trying to do an
split
undercut.
Yeah, he's splitting it in half. I think he's trying to get it to where when he comes back out on the track, he has a lot of green track.
I guess, but he would have to guarantee everyone else pitting as well. But here comes Jacob Malone. He's going to be your first leader on pit road. Pretty early, like we said, splitting the race in half, it looks like. But I guess that means everyone else up front can't save enough. Who knows? This should be interesting.
Yeah, this is Malone. He was probably the second fastest car like early in the run as him and Wilson started to fall off towards the end as they lapped the 24 car Eli Franklin. As Miller's gap, I believe it started, it's definitely grown a lot more since we last visited that battle. Matthew back up to 4th place around the 33.
So, of course, Malone now should be rolling on the racetrack. Here he is in the 66 Hudson Wardard also.
Wilson down pit road.
Oh, that's your pole sitter. Here comes Wilson. So green flag pit stops are officially underway here at the Glen. Earlier than we thought. I guess that kind of forced the hand of everyone now after Malone pitted. Here comes Cole Wilson. So now will that force the hand of maybe your leader, Ashton Miller, maybe Matthew White behind him, who knows. They will head up the inner loop yet again. White has gotten around that 33 of Clarino again for what was 4th, now of course is 2nd, as they're going to again race down the back straightaway.
But that 33, he's still trying to fight Matthew White, 'cause every position definitely matters on a road course, especially if you pit before them, you can undercut them and keep that position, or you can just not gain that position back with how big this road course is. As Matthew, like I said earlier, he's been just not the strongest car all day. Just kind of 4th to 5th place. As you saw the 33 get around him. Matthew got back around him.
There's Franklin getting out of the way. And here comes Miller, your leader on pit road. So this definitely forced the hand of him. He comes down to pit road here. You cannot speed. White will stay out. He will assume the lead. Clarino also stays out. Herklotz is coming. So forcing the hand after Malone pits.
I believe something happened with TJ Moon. I just heard a lot of people yelling on the radio about it.
Yeah,
we
got removed
just
from the
straight
server.
line Knox Thompson.
What?
Yeah, he got payback from Knox Thompson. Yeah, he got payback from Knox Thompson from him getting the damage before. He waited for him and then got him.
Okay.
Miller and Herklotz are down pit road right now.
We got to take a look at what happened. I do want to try to find out what that was real quick. So here is TJ Moon. Oh, this is under green, by the way, of course. Side by side with Knox Thompson. It looks like he let him go there. Of course, he was getting lapped. Coming up to the VS's. There is Thompson ahead of him. I'm assuming it happens down coming to the bus stop. So here they go. I want to fast forward a little bit. So coming down. Oh my God! You cannot do that. You cannot do that. That is unbelievable by TJ Moon. Completely immature. You cannot do that. That's unacceptable. Unreal.
That is gonna ruin Knox's day. He was,
yeah, he's done.
I believe top 5 in the points, maybe.
That's unbelievable. TJ Moon, I don't know what's going to happen post-race now. I do want to look at this. How about, yeah, look at this. Malone jumped Miller and Wilson. He is now your leader once pit cycles are complete. Wilson is now going to be second. Miller is third. He saw the undercut for Malone. It worked out. But will the tires be able to last? Enough speed. How about that?
And one thing that's interesting, Brody Webster came down pit road.
Oh, we have a spinner! Miller just wrecked with the 16. They both save it down the front straightaway. They're going to get it back going again. We say green, no caution.
That's going to hurt Miller's chances of winning this race with only 14 to go.
That is unbelievable for Ashton Miller. Just unreal.
Yeah, they
Worst
got
case scenario. And Wilson just cleared Jacob Malone, by the way, for the lead. Well, what would be the lead? Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, like Ethan said, this will be a battle for the lead after pit cycles go through. As Matthew White, the 33, Brody Webster, but the top 7 is not pitted yet, I believe.
Well, you also got to think, as Brody Webster came down pit road in that caution, he is in P3, so he could stay out and try to go all the way.
Yeah, but I don't know if the pace in that car is going to be enough to hold off these guys on new tires.
And we will see. So here's Wilson and Malone. They are still battling. Malone back to the bumper of Wilson. These two don't have the best of history in Grand National. But nothing has really happened with them in a while. Here we go, coming down pit road is the teammates for M&F Racing, Cole Clausen and Ethan McMillan. Again, they head down the front straightaway. Matthew White, I believe, continues to stay out with Jacob Clarino. Here goes Malone back in the bumper of the 22. Yes, so here they are, but White and Clarino still staying out. They're in their battle of their own, and they've got Wilson and Malone still nose to tail up to the inner loop. 14 laps to go at the Glen. What will happen with this pit strategy as it plays out?
Yeah, after Miller got involved with the lap car, they have put almost 8 seconds on Miller, so that's going to be really hard for him to come back and battle for this lead with these two. As Malone, like we saw earlier in the race, he was faster than Wilson, but can he have that same pace with both of them on fresh tires? Wilson on 1 lap fresher tires. It don't really matter on road courses a whole lot on fresh tires. But they're going to start catching a few lap cars.
Yeah, I mean, so unfortunate there for Ashton Miller. He was obviously the fastest car all day long. It's still not over. He still could get a caution, maybe gets lucky, runs down somebody. I mean, they're stuck behind the Marquez Romas here. But, of course, still about 8 seconds back is Ashton Miller, about a full front straightaway behind. Wilson's the inside of that 36 car to try to put him a lap down. They currently run lead. They're actually not putting him a lap down. They're actually passing him. He didn't pit yet. Franklin is a lap down. Webster hasn't pitted yet. We got actually a battle for the lead between White and Clarino.
Yeah, those two have still not pitted. Those two have battled almost the whole race, and I'm sure they're going to pit together.
We'll see in a minute. White goes way wide here. Clarino is going to clear him. White is probably coming, I would have to imagine now. Nope, he stays out. Okay, that's interesting. Clarino now is your leader, technically 12 laps to go. Winner at Rockingham this season. He now leads in Watkins Glen, but of course we still expect these two to pit. Brody Webster's an interesting case. He already pitted in lap 2 under that first and only caution of the day so far. He's coming to 11 to go. I mean, is he good on fuel? I mean, the guys behind him, Wilson and Malone, are definitely running significantly faster, but we'll see how it plays out for the rest of this race. Miller, of course, still back there in that Monster Energy car. And more cars still in the pits. It's been kind of a chaotic race.
Oh, there goes the 36. He spun out by himself. That's turn one, middle of turn 1. He should get back going, though.
Yeah, he does. He gets back going again. But Cole Wilson looks like he is now pulling away from Jacob Malone. Is this the battle for the win? We'll see.
Like you said, Brody Webster pitted on lap 2, and he's only about 6 seconds ahead. So if we have no caution and these guys keep up this pace, they will catch Brody Webster. So this will be the battle for the lead. Like you said, Wilson starting to pull away from Malone. Wilson might have done some adjustments to that car under that pit stop right there. As Malone, we're on board with him down the short chute.
He's still there on Cole Wilson. He's definitely not going away yet. I do want to see, so White and Clarino are still staying out. Clarino, of course, like we said, still leads this race. White is still second. Right now, technically being scored third is Brody Webster, but these two are coming hard behind him with 11 laps to go. We still, of course, expect White and Clarino to pit, but they're going very long here. Miller still is in this race, but of course, now losing time. You see Marquez Romas on old tires, Herklotz on new tires behind him. Herklotz will probably look will be looking to the inside here for this spot, and he might actually stay behind the 36. Again, Wilson and Malone up the hill, down the back straightaway. Here's the battle between the 36 and the 00 of Herklotz. Of course, the 36 hasn't pitted yet. Herklotz has.
Yeah, we got a car on way fresher tires, and with the car not having to pit in the grass a little bit for the 36. He's just hoping for a caution to come out, so everybody be on even playing fields. But I'm sure Herklotz is going to get around him right here. And he's just probably going to drive off if he can get around him. Go ahead and drive around him the hard way around the outside. It's not the normal line here around Watkins Glen to make a pass, but whatever you got to do for a position.
And he passes him, of course. They're really running down Brody Webster. 10 laps to go. Clarino and White are still staying out. This is interesting. I mean, they were definitely slower than the top 3. I mean, it was close on fuel, so who knows? I don't know if they could save enough.
I don't know. But I mean, if they are trying to save, like Matthew's not going to let the 33 get away, so he can charge late if they have enough fuel somehow. Because Matthew's actually losing him a little bit. The gap's grown to 0.6 of a second, almost 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, I mean, Clarino is still, of course, leading this race. One career win so far, captain this season at Rockingham. That was also almost a bit of a strategy race, pulled a great strategy call. We got Cole Clausen, I think, pitting maybe for a second time. I believe, maybe. Something happened to the 71. He's coming at pit road yet again. Leaders will head back into turns 1 and 2. Behind them, Clausen, of course, pits. Here is Brody Webster. Oh, Malone sideways behind Cole Wilson, who still leads. I mean, Miller is not going away. I definitely want to look at the gap now.
I feel like Miller's gaining on him a little.
He is actually gaining on them. Miller is still not gone. There's only 9 laps to go, and we don't know if this is technically for the lead or not because, again, White and Clarino continue to stay out up front. Webster, they're starting to catch that 2 car, which would be for technically 3rd on the racetrack.
Yeah, they're starting to catch. Oh, my bad, Wilson
has just driven off from Malone.
yeah, just driven away, as he's going to catch Brody Webster and probably the next lap. Brody's been out there on almost 30 lap old tires, and you can just tell the pace is going in that number 2. And I believe they're teammates, or they used to be. So Brody, I'm sure, is not going to really put a fight up, knowing Cole's on fresher stuff. Malone just hoping Brody's going to do the opposite, just hold him up so he can get back to him.
I mean, we'll see here. They're going to be catching him pretty soon as well. Clausen back on track. I see here Matthew White goes way wide, nearly to the wall. That 88 has been struggling all race long after being fastest in practice. Not sure where his pace went. Clarino still leads the race, 8 laps to go. I mean, he did this similar thing at Rockingham, staying out like this when we didn't expect it. 8 to go. Who knows? We'll see. And here comes
probably
Wilson.
Gonna avoid and see entering these corners and see if he's saving any, like hitting the clutch instead of hitting the brakes, maybe not shifting as much.
We'll see in a minute. Cole Wilson, by the way, just cleared Brody Webster. Webster sideways. Wilson, though, up to P3 on the racetrack. We had a spinner. That was the 16 of Gatlin Wilson. Here they come down the back straightaway. Webster back to P4.
Yeah, Webster back to P4 after Wilson passed him coming out of the S's. Malone, I'm sure, is going to pick him off pretty easy. Even Ashton Miller, he might get there with still 7.5 laps to go. And Malone, this will be a good points day for him. I don't know if he's still really in points for championship contention, but if he can somehow wind up with a P4, that'll still be good points for the day.
I mean, here goes Malone to the inside. Oh, it might be contact here in a minute. Webster goes wide. Malone on his bumper, though. Back to the final corner yet again. Here comes that 66 machine, that Ford Mustang, closing on Brody Webster down the front straightaway. Look to the inside. We have somebody on pit road, and it is the 16. 7 to go. Again, Clarino and Matthew White continue to stay out. Oh, and they're going to go way wide, both of them. Webster almost blocks Jacob Malone. This is going to hold him up even more. He'll be all over the back bumper of that 2 car. Looks like maybe even move him. Heading up the S's yet again and down the back straightaway. Malone should have a good run.
Malone is probably screaming on the radio for Brody to get out of the way. No, he is 10 times faster in that number 2 car. Because this is just like Miller. Oh, he gets to the back bumper right there. But through the grass a little bit. Through the grass, through the exit, all the way through the bus stop almost. As he's going to lose a bunch of time through this chicane right here. Brody with a little wider line. See if Malone can gain on him down the back straightaway. This is going to let Miller start to close in a little bit. Miller could end up with the top 5.
I mean, I do want to actually check on, so they're still staying out. Clarino still stays out. Real quick, I do need to check on his saving. Let's ride along with Jacob Clarino and take a listen. I mean, if anything, it doesn't sound like he's going full song. I don't know. I do want to look behind them. Let's ride along with Cole Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
Wilson is pushing a lot harder. He's gaining a lot of time, but
pushing a lot harder than those front 2.
But there is fuel saving up there for sure. But also Wilson's on fresh tires.
As a gap from him to Jacob is 22 seconds. So that would be, even with him saving gas, you'd have to gain quite a bit of time in the next 6 laps.
So you're saying the gap between Wilson and Clarino, that's 22 seconds? Ooh, Clarino is sideways, by the way. 5 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Jacob Clarino is now your leader by, I guess, 22 seconds. Staying out, hasn't pitted at all in this race. White is still second. Is it possible? Can it be another fuel strategy win to win maybe his 2nd race of the season? Who knows?
Yeah, and Cole Wilson, he just went across the line, and it only knocked it down to 21 seconds. He's going to have to knock off like 3 or 4 seconds a lap at this pace to have that pace to get up there. Plus, he has to get around Matthew White.
down the backstretch.
Miller, he's starting to catch Malone. We thought Malone, he was going to be a top 2 car, but he's just falling off after those pit stops. Or a little bit before those pit stops, but I figured this pit stops with fresher tires, he'd be faster than Wilson, and faster, and he'd be a top 2 car, but I mean, he just kind of fell off like Wilson did the first run.
The leader pitted.
Now Miller's starting to catch.
And Jacob Clarino is on pit road. How about that? Where is Matthew White? Matthew White stays out, so it's not enough to make it to the end. He tried, just not enough. Jacob Clarino will pit and service his race car. Now, will Matthew White be able to make it? 4 laps to go. I mean, if Clarino can't make it, and he has been faster than White, let's think about that. I don't know. We'll see.
It didn't really sound like Matthew was going through the S's very, very heavy on the throttle.
I mean, it is a lot, though, to save 4 laps at a road course. 4 more laps than your competitor here at Watkins Glen. That's a lot.
As the gap is down to under 10 seconds. Or sorry, wrong driver. 18 seconds. So still a big time gap for Matthew. If Matthew can somehow save 3 laps, he'll be able to do it. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it since the 33 couldn't do it. Battle for P3 now in the lead with Miller and Malone. So they're coming to the second to last corner.
I mean, they are now on 3 laps to go. Matthew White is still staying out. He is sideways, but that 88 car is still holding pace. He is going slow from the sounds of it. My goodness. How much? I do want to hear now how much time he lost to Wilson on that lap.
17, only about a second to Wilson, and it's about 17 and a half seconds.
Yeah,
so Matthew's going to have to run out of gas.
He's still saving. Here we go. Battle for third. Here comes Miller. He let go by Jacob Malone. Miller to P3 here. Malone back to 4th.
What I'm hearing over the radio is he has to save half a lap of fuel.
That is courses for Matthew White.
Which, I mean, it's going to be tough with how fast this racetrack is. We're just going to have to keep watching how much Cole Wilson catches as Malone all the way through the grass, all the way through the bus stop.
Here comes Matthew White coming to 2 to go. He is coasting completely through the final corner. 2 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Can he do it? We'll see. He is crawling. My goodness. We'll see in a minute from Landon's point of view how much time he loses. Here comes Cole Wilson. Final corner for him. I mean, even if he slows down, loses about 5 seconds, I think it would still be enough every lap.
The gap is down to only 16.3. Yeah, he is not going to get there unless Matthew runs out of gas.
This could be big. Matthew White, a lap and a half to go, heads down the back straightaway.
Matthew is coasting all the way down the straightaway out of the S's. Coasting through the bus stop. Matthew is maximum fuel saving right now. Just coasting all the way through these corners. But I mean, he has a 16-second gap. Getting on the gas at the very last second just to get some momentum for these long straightaways. Still burping the throttle down the straightaways too.
Will he make it? We are coming to 1 to go this time by at Watkins Glen. Matthew White trying to save enough fuel. Does he have enough to do it? 1 lap to go at the Glen, this time by for Matthew White. He's got a big lead over Cole Wilson. He can save a lot now. But will it start, running out of fuel? Who knows? Final lap underway at the Glen. White is still your leader. Wilson is still second. But here comes Matthew White. Final time up through the inner loop. He is just coasting along, trying to save enough fuel. Can he do it on strategy? We will see.
Final time through the S's. Matthew has a 15-second gap to the second place driver, Cole Wilson. So I believe after he makes it out of the carousel, he can almost coast to the finish line. He's going to have a few lap cars in front of him, but I don't think that's really going to affect him with him trying to save fuel. He can probably coast about halfway down the straightaway if he has to. But I don't think he's going to have to, Ethan.
Here he comes.
Out of the coaster for the final time.
Yeah,
We're gonna give it to Ethan.
Final time down the short shoe. 2 more corners to go for Matthew White. What a strategy call. Just unbelievable. Didn't pit at all in this race. The only car not to do that. He will exit the final corner. Coming down the front straightaway to the checkered flag. He has done it. He has saved enough fuel. Matthew White wins at Watkins Glen. Somehow. Cole Wilson, way on back, will come home to finish second. How did he do it? 37 laps. There was 1 yellow early on. He didn't pit there. Same set of tires. No fuel stops. He has somehow saved enough, and he's still running on the cool-down lap. Unbelievable. Matthew White, second win of the season. 2 on now the road courses. He also won Sonoma. What a victory for White.
And Matthew was definitely not the fastest car today.
Yeah, no, I mean, but he played the strategy just perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. See if he has enough fuel to do a burnout. Wilson comes home, of course, second. Malone will finish third. Clarino, I don't know where he exactly finished. We'll see in a second. More cars just coming across the line, I reckon, back here. But Matthew White, what a victory. Here, Miller actually got third, by the way, from Malone. Malone finishes fourth. Webster, how about Brody Webster, a top 5? Clarino will come home in 6th after pitting. Just unbelievable stuff by Matthew White. Saves enough fuel somehow, some way, and wins in Watkins Glen tonight. Oh.
Oh, he's going to have enough fuel for a burnout.
I know. There he goes. Burns it down the front straightaway. What a job well done for the 88 of Matthew White. Cole Wilson's incredible.
You got to think, Cole Wilson thought he had this race won when Matthew White, he heard Matthew White was a half a lap short on fuel.
I think he's out now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. That's impressive. Yeah, he's sputtering, clearly.
Oh?
He's sputtering. Yeah, it's definitely pretty much out now. Cole Wilson
he had plenty. He could have ran another half a lap.
I know. Oh, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Well, that'll do it in Watkins Glen. What a battle. What a race. Unbelievable stuff. Matthew White saves enough fuel to win at the Glen. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen that sort of fuel saving be able to take the victory at a road course like that. That was really impressive. I mean, remember, Clarino pitted 4 laps before Matthew did. Wow. So, master fuel saving landed. Maybe that's why he was so slow this race.
Yeah, he was like the 4th to 5th fastest car all race long, and I guess he was just planning on not stopping.
This is Matthew White's first win at Watkins Glen in the Grand National Series. He's won the last 2 Cup races, looking for 3 in a row tomorrow night. That would be very impressive for him. Cole Wilson, your pole sitter, finishes second. I mean, but it's just another great points day for Cole Wilson. He's going to probably extend his points gap over the rest of the field. He is starting to assert himself as maybe your championship favorite, looking for back-to-back Grand National Series championships. Nobody in the history of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League has won back-to-back series titles. Nobody's ever won 2 in a single series either. I mean, don't have a 2-time champion in Cup, Grand National, or Trucks. Will that happen this season, either in any series? We'll see. Well, what a race at the Glen. 1 caution happened early on. There was some chaos, some probably very unhappy drivers. We'll see what it is. All right, well, post-race interviews coming up here at Watkins Glen. And I am getting word that was something sketchy was going on with Brody Webster's race. Officials will take a look at that at the end of the race. But anyways, Matthew White is allergic to doing interviews, but this is his first win in the league in I feel like a long time. He might have been the Phoenix Cup race back, I don't know how long ago, maybe January.
Race 7, yeah, probably January, beginning of February.
Pretty crazy. I mean, that's maybe his longest league winless streak in a long time. It feels kind of weird for him to be back to victory lane, but we'll interview Cole Wilson coming up. Cole Wilson, I mean, you guys had a great effort here. You still will finish second after pitting. But man, you had a good pit stop there. It jumped you out in front of Miller, and then you were able to pass Jacob Malone. So it was a really great stop all around from that. But unfortunately for you guys, Matthew White somehow, some way, saves enough fuel and ends up with the victory. You guys will come home in second, but still will continue your incredible now 6-race string of all top 5 finishes. And this is, I believe, your fourth top 2 in the last 6 races. Incredible. How about it?
Well, it was a good points day, but Matthew White, absolute freak weirdo. Somehow, he gets in the car and he's like, "Oh, we're only 6 laps short. I'm just gonna be a loser and save all of it." So Matthew White, yeah, he was he didn't tell me his plan because I was talking to him the entire race and he's like, "Oh, what lap are you planning to pit?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll probably just split the race." He's like, "Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet." And all alone, he's saving gas and he wins by he saved 7 whole laps because he had enough to do his whole finishing lap and do half a burnout before he ran out. So Matthew White's a freak, but I'll take second. CWR 1-2-3. So good job to everyone. Shame Ashton got spun, but still a great effort from everybody.
Well, yeah, really great job by you guys. You will now extend the points lead. 16 points now over Jacob Clarino in second. Her class is now 23 behind you guys. So it was a max points day outside of 0x and also winning the race. But you guys, of course, led the most laps, won the pole, finished second. I mean, it has just been an incredible stretch of races. What has it been like? This is probably your best stretch of races in your career.
Yeah, oh, it's great. I mean, I thought like if you told me like lap 25, if you would have asked me like the percent chance I thought I had of winning, I would have said like 98. So I really thought I was gonna get my 3rd win of the season tonight, but still happy. I mean, I think Jacob in 6th was my closest points rival. So a great day. Hopefully we'll have a points lead into the 20s, and we'll move on to whatever track we go to next. I think it's Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona is next. Yes. So
I'm really bad. I'm really good at controlling the lane at Daytona, but then I always in the big wreck. So I just need to stay out of trouble next race.
You always cause in the big ones.
So are you good at what's your plan there to sure how to hold the points lead? If you have a wreck there, oh god, I don't want to, especially an early wreck, that could be pretty bad for you guys.
Definitely, just trying to just keep my nose clean really, and not get involved in anything. I mean, I've led like Daytona earlier this season. I was leading the bottom and I got spun and no caution came out and I went 2 laps down. So things can change fast. Talladega last season, I was charging back up front when I got flown into the air. So and then Daytona 2 years ago, on lap 3 I was rolling upside down. So a lot can happen, and just gonna try to keep the 22 clean.
Well, Cole Wilson, still nice job of the run tonight. You'll finish second after starting on pole, nearly a max points day, but also a points gain. We'll see you in Daytona next week, or of course in the spring race or the season opener there. You guys almost DNQ'd.
Yeah. Thank you, Maconi Setup Shop, NGK, CWR, Cameron Chandler in his late model league. I don't know how he finished, but all CWR, Matthew White, good job. You're a loser. Thank you,
Wow.
Chandler.
Unbelievable. Downs. All right. Anyways, coming up next will be, I believe, Ashton Miller. Well, Ashton Miller, it was still a very good effort for you guys today. You'll finish in 3rd here at Watkins Glen. You had the lead there, and then until of course Malone, I believe, jumped you. Wilson jumped you by pitting a little bit earlier, and then somehow Matthew White saves enough fuel. So, I mean, I thought you had the win there. You just easily looked like the fastest car. Are you surprised after all the stuff went down there in the second half? I guess he's speechless. Oh, mic broke apparently. Give him a second, he said. All right.
I think it has him in timeout. I think Ashton put him in timeout
Huh?
for Cole Wilson.
Hey,
No,
hey,
we're
hey.
trying to. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly, decent, okay day for us. We got wrecked by a lap car because I guess lap cars just don't understand the way of get out of the way of the leaders. But you know, most of them are morons, so you can't really deal with them. But you know, getting wrecked in the second week in a row is kind of fun. You know, just love leading a lot of laps just to get wrecked. I'm guessing this game is cursed or something because it's happened more times than Cameron do away than us. But you know, just okay day. I wish we could have caught Matt, but you know, it just yes, wasn't meant to be. But just some people, man, I guess, just can't handle being laps down and want to mess with the leaders. But whatever, what is what it is.
Well, of course, we got the Cup race tomorrow night. You guys have had great speed all week. What kind of confidence do you have that you could bring that tomorrow night to the Cup race here at the Glen?
Um, we'll try, but I don't know how to win against Bryce Benton, Matthew White, and all those fast guys. We'll try, but I guess this race is probably our best bet because I'm not really good with the four car. It's probably my best car, honestly. But yeah, we'll have to see.
All right, Ashton Miller. Well, nice job still in the run today. You guys will finish in third after passing Malone late, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.
All right, coming up next, Jacob Malone, who came home fourth. Or nah, he just downed himself. Okay, never mind. Jacob Clarino, I think, finished fifth, not mistaken. No, it was actually, yeah, it was Clarino. Okay, finished sixth. Jacob Clarino, you guys will finish in sixth today. So I thought were gonna win the race. Unfortunately for you guys, you don't have enough fuel to go. You pit Matthew White, who you're racing. They're actually saved enough to win the race. So I mean, looking back on that, do you think there was a chance you could have saved a little more and maybe made it?
Yeah, nice try. I'm not Matthew. Wow, I can't save that much fuel. Because he's apparently a freak. He's like Gregor Hutube, like a NASCAR version, or I should say like SVG or Constellation. But anyways, yeah, I don't know I didn't really know what to do when I had to lead. I really thought of saving, but I also don't know how to hold up the guy named Matthew White behind me while saving fuel. And I pitted, set fast lap, tried to get some spots, and couldn't really do anything because I was so far back and I pitted way too late. But yeah, it was a decent race. This is so far my second worst road course finish of the season because Mexico City, I think I also finished sixth. Yeah, under that was a decent race. Definitely, I should have at least finished inside the top four, but I guess I guess I just can't because I'm driving a car on a track in a sim race, and yeah, fish or fish.
All right. Well, of course, we head to Daytona
Fifth.
next. Daytona next week. You guys are now second in points. I mean, it's been a great season for you. One win at Rockingham this year, but Daytona's coming up. Anything could happen there. You think that could be an opportunity to gain?
Fish. And also, I'll probably get wrecked.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Fish.
Okay. Apparently, we're 12 years old. Anyways, coming up next, I do want to look at the Knox Thompson interview in a little bit. That should be interesting. Don't believe Herklotz is here, so we're going to be doing I believe Ethan McMillan is next. Finished 10th, I think. Should be. All right. So Ethan McMillan, you guys will finish in 10th today here at Watkins Glen. So that's back-to-back top 10s. You finished 10th last night in the truck race as well. So ultimately, you did, I guess, get helped out by some chaos happening in front of you. Unfortunately, with your teammate as well, who's having an incredible day, Grand National debut, running P7. Just take me through it there.
Well, pretty much, the start was obviously, as you saw, pretty chaotic. I was just trying to get through.
Once the race started to get going, I did get held up pretty bad. I feel like if I didn't get held up the first time, I don't remember who it was because there's just some random stuff happening. I feel like I would have been a few places ahead, like maybe eighth or ninth, like just a little bit more. But I mean, really, other than that, a 10th place is the best I could hope for at a road course. It was a very good day for M&F Racing all around on our pure racing pace. We had a few issues. Hudson Woodard on his first start, running seventh, I think. I'm pretty sure, something like that. So that's pretty good, yeah. And then Cole Clausen, he was running just ahead of me, I think, for a little bit till he had an issue late. So yeah, it was just a great day. I mean, really.
Well, yeah, of course we head to Daytona next week. You guys are a former Grand National winner, Daytona International Speedway. I mean, you think a second career win could be coming there?
Yeah, I think so. We've had very good runs at all the super speedways. Usually get involved in something late, but I believe you can expect all four M&F racing cars there too. So we'll probably have a pretty good run, I hope.
All right, Ethan, well, nice job on the run today, top 10, and we'll see you next week from the World Center of Racing.
Yep, thank you.
Sorry. Christian Herklotz, you guys will finish in 7th today here at Watkins Glen. So ultimately, a decent day for you guys. It kind of looked like you ran there all night long. Ultimately, we'll, of course, finish there in P7. You're still third in points. You're now, 23 points behind Cole Wilson. Ultimately, talk me through some of the ups and downs of your day here.
Yeah, so ultimately, I made a mistake in the beginning of the race and got into the grass a little bit in the bus stop, but we recovered pretty well. This race was very heavy on pit strategy, so we were just calculating what we really needed to do to come down pit road at the right time and then see where we came out. And we kind of fell on the short end of the stick, losing one spot from that. But ultimately, a pretty good day. Don't think we would have, if we stayed out, we couldn't have saved enough to win the race. So congrats to Matthew White on that aspect. But yeah, P7 is pretty good. And third in points, we still got a shot, just 23 points back, like you said. So we're just focusing on next week.
Well, of course, next week is Daytona, the regular season finale for the Cup Series. Of course, you guys don't have any chase or playoffs or anything like that. So you guys can just focus on the race. 8 races to go this season. You think it is possible to get back to the front?
Well, yeah, definitely. Daytona is definitely a place that we look forward to, being it, so unpredictable. But I think I've definitely improved on the super speedways, definitely got more aggressive. So hopefully we just stay up front there and maybe be up there for the win.
All right, Christian. Well, nice job on the top 10 today, and we'll see you next week from Daytona.
All right, awesome.
Coming up next, got a few more to go. Maybe Cole Clausen, I believe. Let me see here.
I finished ahead of him, but I got DQ, so yeah, it is Cole Clausen.
Cole Clausen, you guys will finish in 12th today. I saw you had to pit a second time there. Can you first of all walk me through what happened to you guys there?
All right. I was just cruising because, a lot of people, unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I guess, got wrecked, and we basically almost had a top 10 in the bag, I think, and then just had a skill issue and channeled my inner Payson Lindsay, and may or may not have crashed in the pit barrels, but the pit barrels were actually pretty realistic because I got basically zero damage from it, despite like my left rear wheel basically going straight into it. So, and then for some reason I got an unsafe pit entrance because like I hit the cone or whatever, and so they had to hold me for 40 seconds. So that was a little crazy, and that cost me a couple positions. So I was a little bit upset about that, but it is what it is. We had a pretty solid race, all three of us M&F racing cars. Unfortunately, Hudson had a bit of issues, but I mean, he's never driven the Grand National car in his entire life, and he was running in like almost in the top 5. I mean, that guy is just absolutely insane on the road courses. So, if he ever does any other road course races, I don't think there's any more on the Grand National schedule, but maybe like next season or something, he's definitely gonna be a contender for sure. So, yeah, pretty solid run for us, I guess.
Well, we got the Cup race coming up tomorrow night. You guys will be in that one, of course. So did you learn anything from, of course, the truck race last night and the Grand National race today that you can apply to tomorrow night's Cup race?
I'm trying to learn, but I don't know. Just Watkins Glen hasn't been really nice to me this week, so not really sure how the cup race is gonna go. I can't say that I'm too confident, but I guess I have to be confident. So hopefully we can have a good run there. I mean, I'm testing for it right now actually, and all I gotta say is that it's a lot faster than both the trucks and Grand National cars. So should be a lot of fun ripping around Watkins Glen like a bald eagle or a Finger Lake, I guess.
All right, Cole. Well, nice job still in the run today. We'll see you tomorrow night, and good luck then.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Eli, so you said you got disqualified?
Yeah, I turned around, tried to hit Matthew White, and it just DQ'd me. So maybe behind Cole Clausen, but that's whatever.
All right. So next up is going to be Hudson Wardard. Hudson Woodard, you guys will finish, I think, in 13th or 14th today, but that doesn't show where you guys ran. You were up in the top 7 in your Grand National Series debut after finishing top 10 in the truck race last night as well. Unfortunately, it looked like you got maybe some help behinds that turned you guys into the wall and basically ruined your day. What happened?
Yeah, no, I felt like I felt like I was running pretty good, but I got turned around, obviously. I was happy with my pace, and overall, a pretty good race for my debut.
Well, we got Daytona up next week. Of course, it's a super speedway, going to be your first in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League.
Yep.
So you got, like I heard before, you're going to have all the MNF racing cars there, 4 of them. How do you think that teamwork could work out, maybe for you guys to pull off a victory for one of you guys, maybe even you, at Daytona next week?
I have no idea. I have 0 oval racing IQ. I'm a GT3 boy. I don't know anything about ovals. So
All right.
we could be great. I don't know, but we'll see.
All right. Well, of course, still good job on the run today. You showed some flashes of speed, was the top MNF racing car for a little bit there, and we'll see you next week from the World Center of Racing.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so a couple more to go here, I think. I do want to hear what happened with Knox Thompson. We're going to bring him in. So, Knox Thompson, you guys are having a decent run today. I think it was somewhere around the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Until, I don't know, we're going to have to look at that post-race. What happened there with TJ Moon?
If you touch TJ Moon barely, he'll just straight line you. I got into him. I apologized, and he came back, waited on me, nailed me. Like it was not even. It was if you don't think that's intentional, you are stupid in the head. That was crazily stupid. And if I see him in this league again, I feel like that's just disappointing in the admins.
All right, well, Daytona is up next week. Of course, that's a race a lot of people can rebound at. You guys are now 4th in points, but you did lose a lot of points. You're now 37 behind the leader, Cole Wilson, who, of course, had nearly a max points day. So Daytona next week, you think that could be a good opportunity for you guys to gain some?
I know we're not the biggest team, but me and Keegan are going to work our way up to the front and maybe get ourselves a win next week.
All right, Knox. Well, of course, still nice job on the run today, and we will see you from Daytona next week.
All right, do a backflip.
Okay. I think Kylan Wilson is next, maybe for final one. Kylan Wilson, your day was over before it really even got started, wrecked on lap 2. Unfortunately, you guys actually drove away from the crash, and then you got absolutely destroyed, it looked like, by Michael Gregory. Can you tell me what went on from your perspective there?
All right, so lap 1, turn 6. So actually, it just starts on the bus stop. I was avoiding a crash. Then I had to yield for it. Then off of turn 7, I think I may have caught the 87 on accident. I apologized after, and then he just junks my stuff. I think you should just ban him. He stopped on the track after that.
All right. Well, of course, Daytona is up for next week. It's a super speedway. Anything could happen there. What are your guys' expectations?
Let me look at the schedule. Daytona. I don't know what to expect. It's Daytona.
All right. Well, still nice job on the run today. Sorry you guys got taken out really early, but we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right. Well, that'll do it tonight from Watkins Glen International. What a race. How about it? Matthew White able to save enough fuel, guys. Any final thoughts?
No.
Wow, back-to-back weeks from Lane Johnson with nothing. Thanks to the one Darlington, he thinks he's all cool in that for just saying nothing. But very much overall, very interesting strategy. Matthew might be able to save fuel and have enough to do a little bit of a burnout, which is very impressive. After starting the race, you're like 5 laps short, which is amazing fuel management by him. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good race. Hopefully tomorrow gets the same car count, and it should be interesting because remember you have the stage break, which we think we will have to have pit stops before the stage break. So we'll see how all that goes. We could see guys pit before the stage ends and flip the stage and take the lead for that final stretch. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be very interesting tomorrow night for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Watkins Glen, and 2 races before the chase. Tomorrow night at the Glen, and then next week in Daytona. Only 8 days before we know the actual chase grid. That's crazy. And it should be very fun tomorrow night from Watkins Glen International. The NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, of course, starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, like always on Thursday on this channel. That will just about do it for us tonight in the Grand National Series. What a race. What a strategy by Matthew White to win. So, on behalf of all team owners, commentators, drivers, officials, everyone involved in making this league what it is, we will see you tomorrow night from Watkins Glen International for the Cup Series race. Good night from the Glen. We'll see you tomorrow night for Cup.